Okay, I'm going to do the mic. Oh, where'd the computer go? They took it away. We definitely needed that. Okay, that's all right. So let's start a little bit about why I'm here. And maybe I'll do a little introduction. Before that, we'll start with some gratitude. Huge thank you to all the organizers, Kim and her whole family who's here, just and Tammy and everybody who's put in a lot of work. Just thank you to Obesity Help. I also want to thank Dr. Reyes, who I've gotten to know over the last couple years. No, I don't think it will work. I don't know how to. No, it's fine. Thank you, Chilla. And a thank you to Chilla. I've seen her talk. We've actually done a couple conferences together, and big thank you to her for educating us about ketones and the importance of ketones. So let's get the thank yous out of the way, and my team who's here in the corner, and my wife who's right here recording me, so thank you to Rosette. So I wouldn't be here without you. So yeah, let's before we get started on who I am, maybe we could talk about why I'm here. I was a 350-pound physician, board-certified in internal medicine. I scored on the 90th percentile on my board exam. And I'm going to just speak frankly, I was an arrogant shithead. Okay? I'm going to say it full, excuse my language. So every part of my body hurt, every joint hurt. I was tired all the time, and I desperately wanted to feel better. And I really dedicated my life at that point, really the encouragement of Rosette, my wife, to figure out what was wrong. What was I missing? They educated me. They gave me all the science. They gave me all the, I trained in the Yale system, right? And I couldn't figure it out. So I had to go back and see what I missed. And it's not just what I missed. It's actually what much of the profession missed. I was talking with a dietitian here that we missed a lot in dietetics. We missed a lot in medicine. And we are all here because the scientists and the doctors like me missed it. Our whole population is sicker. 70% of us are overweight or obese. 70% have prediabetes or diabetes. You can't blame the student when the teacher has fundamentally failed. Right? Can't. And too many people are suffering. So I want to talk about who suffered. I want to talk about my mom for a minute. And raise your hand if you relate to this. I was 5 years old, and my mom was on fen-phen, up at nights, knitting, couldn't sleep. Okay, then when that didn't work, she went to Weight Watchers. I went to Weight Watchers with her. Raise your hand if you did fen-phen, just real quick. Yep. Raise your hand if you were told by a doctor or dietitian to do Weight Watchers and count your points harder. Yep, everybody here. Guess what? They went bankrupt. Guess what? Fen-phen is off the market. And then 20 years ago, or 15 years ago, my mom went through bariatric surgery. And she was told that that's what she needed, and it did help her. It did help her. And then to some degree, the fen-phen helped her, and to some degree, the Weight Watchers helped her. I remember going up on stage there with her, seeing her go up and get on that evil metal box to weigh in. Amy Igus, who you'll hear later, will talk about that evil metal box, the scale, right? The scale. So after bariatric surgery, she also gained weight again, and now she's on a GLP-1 medication. Anybody raise your hand on a GLP-1 medication, right? She did what her doctors told her to do. Go on fen-phen, go to Weight Watchers, go to bariatric surgery, take this injection drug. And she's still suffering today. So I had a deep interest in solving the problem that affected me, my family, and that's why I'm here. So this was me 10 years ago, and I can't read all those little notes I had on the screen, but I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a board-certified internal medicine doctor, board-certified in obesity medicine. I'm a certified personal trainer. I'm a certified health coach. I sit on the board of the metabolic health practitioners, and I've devoted my life to this. I'm the guy who, goes on, the news and basically says, we need to do better than just recommending surgery. We need to do better than just recommending drugs. We need to actually do better as a medical profession. Those things are all amazing tools. You should definitely consider those tools, utilize those tools, but we need to do better. Gosh, I really wish I could see my slides. Yeah. I may walk around here, guys, and I may come down off the stage. Sorry for the camera guy who's got to work harder now, but I got to be able to read the slides. So I have a team that I work with at Toward Health. We're a nationwide medical practice. They think, it's just Dr. Tro, but it's not. We work with, this is just half the team, but doctors and health coaches, personal trainers. And our goal is basically get people off drugs. And this in the past, get people off medications they don't need, reclaim their lives, just like I did. And we published 2 papers, which I won't go into today because you will all be sleeping if I go through more science. But we showed that at 1 year, 43 pounds is lost in our program, and the average patient comes off 2 medications. Binge eating symptoms go down by 80%, and food addiction symptoms, something we don't talk enough about in dietetics, went down 45%, those symptoms. So an amazing team, and oh gosh, something's happening here. Let's see if I can go back a little bit. Well, it looks like I can't go back a little bit. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, so this is my team and myself. We have all walked the walk. Every single person has gone through a weight loss journey, and I think that's important because we know what it's like to step on that evil scale. We know what it's like to yo-yo diet. We know what it's like to have been told to just try harder. Who's been told to just count your calories harder? Who's been told to just go pick up an extreme sport or exercise harder? Right? We need a little bit more than that, right? And we use a continuous care model, which means we share a scale with you, we share a blood pressure cuff with you, we share a CGM with you, and we track your activity and we work with you without shame, without blame, to sort of figure out what's going on underneath the hood. It's very individualized, so I will not, stay there any longer, and we'll move on here. Out of the 2,000 patients I've helped, these are the 3 basic things I'm told, okay? Doc, I don't know why I'm hungry and I don't know why I'm eating. Why? I don't know why. Doc, why is this so hard for me? So just raise your hand if you've asked, why am I hungry all the time? Yeah, keep your hands up, okay? Now, raise your hand if you've said, why is this so hard for me? Okay, and this one's going to get everybody else in the room, okay? Now, keep your hands up if you raise your hand so far. The last one will be, I know what to do, but I just can't seem to do it, right? Everybody in the hands up, right? So fundamentally, all these doctors, right, you can put your hands down, unless you want to get those calories up, and fundamentally, your doctor or your dietitian or your coach or whatever you hire, whoever you do, should help you with these 3 questions. Right? If I solved these 3 questions for you all, would you even be in this room? No. So my job is a little bit easier than we think. So we'll talk about that. And my clinic is filled with the quick fixes that just didn't fix. Right? They said to you, it wasn't a hormonal issue, it was calories. You counted the calories, and then all of a sudden they're like, actually, you need this metabolic surgery. And then actually they're like, wait a second, we're going to have to inject the hormones. Maybe it's not the calories, right? It's frustrating. And my clinic is filled with it. The switch didn't work. My GLP stopped working. I have struggled my whole life. I have yo-yoed. Fen-Phen, lap band, Weight Watchers. They've all failed me. So this is who I see in my clinic every day. And every single time, it's trauma that I wish I didn't have to go through. That's why I'm here. So this is everything you need to know to answer those questions. my team and I sat down and we said, let's answer these questions that people struggle with. Let's write them all down. And this is what the average person has to figure out. And this is what your doctor has to figure out. This is what your dietitian has to figure out. While you're struggling and fed up, you think they're going to be able to do it? No. You think you're going to be able to do it? It's very difficult, right? And meanwhile, they tell you it's all your fault, or at least you tell yourself. Raise your hand if it's all your fault. Bingo, right? It's all your fault. Or you need more responsibility. Try to figure it out now. You tell yourself this now, right? It's all your fault. It's your responsibility. I know what to do, so why don't I do it? You're telling yourself these things and you're missing the picture of all those things that you actually need to figure out. How about this? I have no willpower. You take care of your mom. You take care of your family. You take care of your dog. You show up every day to work and you don't have willpower? Doesn't make sense to me. The lies we tell ourselves that hide us from the truth that we need. Yeah. I've been this way since childhood. I was told to finish my plate since I was a kid. I just can't do it. And you could see all these things we tell ourselves and all the things that our clinicians and our helpers tell us, they block us from that truth. All those things that we actually have to figure out, no matter what surgery or medication we use as a tool, we still have to put in that work. It's actually in my genes. I ran my genes. I have 2 copies of the thrifty gene, which means when I lose weight, my metabolism goes down, and when I gain weight, my metabolism goes up. I also have the MC4R gene, which makes my brain say, you're never full. I have 2 copies of it. I also have hypothyroidism, untreated, by the way. 10 years, I've known about this hypothyroidism. I haven't treated it. So I have the genes, I have the hormonal issues, I have the hypothyroidism. That's just not the issue. That wasn't the main issue for me. It can be an issue. And then, of course, they tell you don't eat meat, right? Meat's bad for you. Yeah, boo. The liver, we got to do the liver. Shut up and count your calories, right? This is what you've been told, and it's clouding you from what you need to do. So how do we take this mess, this nightmare, and get some sense out of it, right? It's very hard. It's very hard to do. Let's see if this actually works here, guys. So how do we make sense of this? How do we take that constant confusion, the blame, the guilt, the lack of willpower, all the lies we've told ourselves and make sense? And my team sat, and we basically grouped all of those things into 3 groups, right? What are those signals that drive somebody to eat? What are those manipulations, emotional issues that make us keep doing something we don't want to do? And what are the things that delay our recovery, that keep us from getting back to the healthy way we want to eat right now? And we wrote them all down. And here they are. Take a picture. This is self-work. This is all the answers you need, actually, to be honest with you. And then we put them into 3 categories. We noticed they're in 3 separate categories. Okay? There's the sort of neurohormonal and physical. Oh, you want to go back? Okay. Well, there's other slides you're going to need to, but this one's a good one. All right. So you have neurohormonal signals that drive you to eat. Okay? You have emotional and cognitive things, physical, like psychological things, behavioral things that keep you eating food you don't want to be eating. And then you have the sort of prolonged distress and delayed recovery. Who's gone on vacation and their diet went to shit? Yep. Yeah, who had a holiday and their diet went to shit afterwards? Or just that piece of cake for their birthday? Right? So what is it that prolongs our distress and delays our recovery? Right? So we group these into 3 categories, and you're like, okay, Tro, that's cool that you guys group them. You know, that's cool, but how does it help me? How does it help me? Well, these things answer fundamental questions. Why am I hungry? Why am I eating? Right? Why is it hard for me to make the choices I want, that I'm happy with? And why is it that I know what to do, but I just can't seem to do it? So these are the three most important questions a doctor, a dietitian, a coach can help you with. Right? And so there's three basic solutions. Learn about your hunger and your drive to eat so that you can modulate it. Learn about the sort of emotional logic and outlook manipulations that we all tell ourselves, and we all know them. My wife used to tell me, you know, Tro, like I desperately wanted to lose weight, and she would say, maybe you shouldn't have that pizza. Who's heard that before? Maybe you shouldn't have that. And we should respond and say, oh my God, Rosette, you're right. I should just put this pizza down. Oh, you know me. You know I want to lose weight. You know it's devastated seeing my mom's health suffer. Whoever said that? Whoever said that? You know what I said? I said, leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. I'm a doctor. I'm a grown man. Leave me alone. Who said that? So that's an emotional manipulation. We all know it. I'm getting angry instead of feeling gratitude. Thank you, Rosette. Right? Thank you, Rosette, for telling me what I needed to hear. And then the last thing is, you know, the last part of this is understanding the processes that prolong your distress and delay action. Right? If you have a lifelong food issue, you have to understand, a big part of your brain does not want to recover. So you need to figure out every single thing that delays recovery. Right? And you need to understand it. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what surgery or what drug you do, you're going to suffer. So these are the three things you need to figure out. And we have these all on our app. And I'll go through one of those today because each one of these is like a 2-hour discussion. Okay, so we'll talk about the science of hunger and how you can use the CGM to really get to the heart of that part of the Trinity. Okay, let's see. For some reason, this stopped working. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it started working again. All right. So we're going to go through most of the issues that modulate hunger. So out of those three things, I'm going to help you. I want you to walk away with what is hunger, okay? We're going to be talking about glycemia-induced hunger, and this is what you can use the CGM to help you sort of figure out. We're going to talk about cravings, hormonally mediated hunger, which you actually heard a little bit about from Chilla, right? Talking about ghrelin and some of those hormones. We're going to talk about stress on eating. We're going to talk about subconscious eating, accepting food as happy hormones, sensory-specific satiety, boredom and lack of stimulation, reward-based eating and dopamine-driven behavior, cephalic phase response, which is a fancy word of saying you see food and you want it, right? Yeah. And we're going to talk about nutrient and mineral depletion. And these things won't change. You have to learn about these because for the rest of your life, these are going to make you eat. So you got to figure this out, right? And then sleep deprivation on eating we'll talk about, and palate adaptation. Let's see if I can actually get through all this. They may have to yank me off the stage. The big things we'll focus on here is glycemia-induced hunger and sleep deprivation on eating because these are the most trackable. This is the easiest way to be empowered as somebody who's struggled with their weight their whole lives is tracking these two things. Okay. First things first, we'll talk about mineral depletion, and I want you to understand this concept because I think it's really important. I have thousands of people who come to our clinic. They've been yo-yo diet. Raise your hands. They've been yo-yo dieting, restricting, eating cabbage diets, watermelon diets, right? So the average person coming to my clinic has several, at least 3 nutrient deficiencies. Okay? They're overweight, they're obese, and they're actually starving on the inside. What do you think is going to happen to them when they try to lose weight and they cut their calories? They're only going to be more malnourished, right? So I want you to understand that. I'm going to show you some data to support that. So you all are trying to lose weight, but many of you actually lack nutrients. There was a study actually that I want to bring up here that showed the more carbohydrates you have and the less fat, the more your brain actually says, go get me food. It actually robs your body of nutrients. So you're already vitamin deficient, already nutrient deficient, already mineral deficient, right? And most of us are fearing fat, and fat literally robs your blood from energy. Okay, so obese, but inside is starving. I can't see all of these, but I'm going to rattle some of them off my brain. Obesity is actually the weight and BMI and your visceral fat, and your fat is inversely related to a host of nutrients. The average person in my clinic lacks B1, vitamin D, vitamin C. Did I say D? B12, folate, right? So you're coming in trying to lose weight to my clinic, and you're actually starving on the inside. It's not going to work out. There's no way you're going to be able to shut off that hunger when you're starving on the inside. And this starts actually in adolescence. This is an important graph here. This takes actually kids, young kids in adolescence, and their weight is directly linear, right? Inversely linear, to their vitamin C level, meaning the biggest kids, like I was, at age 13, I was the same weight I am right now. My body was starving for vitamin C. It had none. And the same is true for vitamin D. The more fat you have, the less vitamin D you have. The more visceral fat you have, the less vitamin D. So you're coming in and you're trying to lose weight, but your brain is on fire for food. You're starving. You think you're going to succeed? No. So this is going to be a little funny video, okay? Has anybody heard of the ibex goat? Yeah, the ibex goat, it's a cool, funny little fact. Do you guys see the goat here? I don't know if you can see the goat. If you're falling asleep, wake up. This is a funny little video. Okay, does anybody see the goat? You see it there? Now I pointed it out. What is a goat doing on the top of this dam? Does anybody know? This is it's not looking for water. It's a good guess. So this goat, somebody said the answer. We're going to go through it a little bit. This goat is risking its life. Okay? It has an intact fear mechanism. If I run after this goat, it runs away. But it's suspending its fear. It's disabling any consequence and climbing up here to get something. Okay? Oh, let's see. I don't know if I can actually make this play. I can't make it play. So there's a video here, but I can't make it play. But it's actually licking salt off the wall. So think about this. What would keep a human eating despite ill consequences? An amputation. I was 350 pounds. I desperately wanted to lose weight. What would make me keep eating? If I lacked nutrients, if I lacked minerals, right? I would keep seeking food. And this is the case for many of you in this room. You fundamentally lack vitamin D, vitamin C, folate, protein. We're so deficient in protein and minerals. So you don't have an obesity problem until you're nutritionally replete. That's one of the things I tell myself and the other doctors that I work with. You do not have an obesity problem until you're nutritionally replete. So you're not going to be able to lose weight. You're not going to be able to restrict your calories if you're starving on the inside. Okay? You have to eat foods that replenish your body, give you nutrient-dense foods. Okay? I want to talk about glycemia induced. So that's a hunger you're never going to get rid of. You got to figure that out. You have to figure out how to eat foods that's going to give you nutrients. Eggs, meat, fish, chicken, green leafy vegetables, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, liver. My man Christopher here. We were talking about liver before. Okay, you have to understand other aspects of hunger. Do you know the biggest aspect of hunger right now in our lives, right? They look back in, I went through board certification. I was chief resident. And I didn't know what makes people hungry. And I went back to the literature when I was I was trying to figure it out, trying to lose weight, and I found out when we figured it out. They never taught it to me as a doctor. Guess what year? 1957, New England Journal of Medicine. Gene Mayer. They figured out what causes hunger because they thought, oh, my stomach's grumbling. Maybe it's the stomach telling me that I'm hungry. It's not it. Who thinks that their stomach grumbling means they're hungry? That's BS sold to you by Kellogg's. Okay? Right? It is not your stomach grumbling. Your brain says I'm hungry based on blood sugar fluctuations. That's what makes, and we knew this in 1957, publishing in the New England Journal of Medicine. Gene Mayer. And they've been telling us this calories nonsense and giving us Oreos in 100-calorie packs. And they've been making us more hungry. And we've been blaming ourselves. A study in 2021 with 8,000 meals in 1,000 people showed the most potent predictor of weight gain came from glycemic excursions, which is your blood sugar going up, then coming back down, and it's not much down. It doesn't need much down to make your brain on fire for food. But when your blood sugar comes back down, guess what it says? Doesn't matter if you have an anvil in your stomach, if I make you hypoglycemic, what do you think your brain's going to say? Get me food. Get me ice cream, get me chocolate. Does it say, get me the vegan broccoli? No. Right? It says, get me the pizza, get me the chocolate, get me the cookies, get me the cake, get me the juice. Right? It's telling you to get the most rewarding food. And we've known this for years. And we're trying to moderate addictive food. Have 1,000 calories. Eat this amount. Right? Eat this amount. It doesn't cut it. It's the most predictor of weight gain that we know in our modern society is glycemic excursions. It makes you more hungry. It makes you feel less energy. It makes you gain weight over the next 24 hours and the next 2 weeks. And guess what? You can track it. You can track it. That's glycemia-induced hunger. No matter what surgery or hormone you take, it's still going to be there. Okay, and this is a little bit about what I was talking about. It's about what is that reward? What does your brain want when it wants food? Okay, let's do a little experiment here. Okay, raise your hand if you would drink vegetable oil. Just drink seed oils. No, anybody here? No, you don't want fat, right? Who would eat a plain potato here? Plain potato, nothing on it. Some of us. If I take the potato and I fry it in the oil, who likes that? Everybody. So watch how this works out. You're going to have to yank me off the stage. I'm just going to let you know. Okay, you're going to have to reel me in. Okay, so your brain doesn't want the fat so much. A little bit. It kind of wants carbohydrates, right? The potato. But what does it really want? It wants both of them put together. Who would drink melted cheese? Just drink melted cheese. No, some of us, right? Who would eat plain macaroni? Plain macaroni, nothing on it. Some of us. Who would eat mac and cheese? Hello. And your brain rewards that combination 5 times. 5 times, either of those apart. It kind of doesn't want the fat. It pretty much wants the carbs, but it loves both. So when your brain is seeking food, this is what it seeks. No matter what surgery you do, no matter what drug you do, this is what your brain's going to want. This is the programming. And the reason why I want you to know is so you don't suffer. You don't think that there's something wrong with you because maybe the surgery didn't work or maybe the hormones didn't work. They're great tools. But you got to understand what's going on underneath. Otherwise, you're just going to be a sucker for the next, GLP gummy that they're trying to sell you. Okay, so the most addictive foods that we know are carb-fat combinations. Pizza, French fries, chips, cookies, cake, right? Cheeseburgers, right? They're all carb-fat combinations. Fried rice, right? French fries, ice cream, chocolate, they're all the same signal. Some have salt, some have sweet, some have both, but they're carb-fat combinations. So you have to know, right? So cravings, also something you need to figure out, right? So no diet is going to make you forget about grandma's homemade pie. No diet is going to make you forget about ice cream. You're always going to want those things. What do you intend to do about it? Do not expect cravings to disappear. You can only understand what's triggering you to eat them. Okay, and this is just a quick little infographic. Take a picture because how do you determine? Where's this hunger coming from? Is it quote unquote real? The way you know it's real is if it doesn't go away. If it goes away, right, you have to not eat into the craving. See, is this going to go away? True hunger does not go away. It intensifies. Okay? It intensifies. So it's important to realize that. And what does it take to make the brain crave food? And this is the most important thing I could show you, and I think this is the most important point you could take away. Rajita Sinha, when I was at Yale, she did this study. She literally said, how much do I have to make the blood sugar fluctuate to make you want food? And she found out it was just 20 points. Just 20 points of blood sugar made the brain's addiction centers light up. Made your brain want food. Okay, I'm going to skip through a lot of this because I want to get to the tech. So just bear with me. I'll share all the slides with you so you can have them because I want to talk to you a little bit about CGMs and I don't have a lot of time. Actually, I'll do one other thing here. One other thing. So they did a test to actually see, okay, what is the most satiating macronutrient? Right? You're right. Somebody said it. Fat. Right? They compared carbs to fat. We know protein has a satiating property, but they said, what is more satiating, carbs or fat? And they literally did a taste-matched milkshakes. Vanilla milkshakes, one with all sugar, another one that was fat with sweetener, and they blinded the patients and said, let's just see what it takes to get them hungry. How long they'll go before they want another food. And if you had carbohydrates, guess what? You wanted food in an hour, right? Lining up with that blood sugar excursion that I showed you that predicts hunger and weight gain. And when you had the fat, this was a calorie match study, you went twice as long. Twice as long. So they've been telling you to moderate the potato chips and the French fries and the bread, right? Moderate the fruit, moderate the grains. And meanwhile, they've been setting us up to fail. And they've known. This is not new. Okay, so I'm going to skip forward through a whole bunch of stuff. This is all about how you can modulate hormones. It's important to know. This is one. Everybody's on a raise your hand if you're on a GLP-1 or tried a GLP-1. Yeah. So this is a good study, and I want you to see it because protein and fat in isolation release GLP-1. If you add a carbohydrate to that, you eliminate the GLP-1 that's produced. So literally, carbohydrates, in addition to fat and protein, causes a GLP-1 deficiency. Guess how long we've known that? 15 years. 15 years. And you're all getting these hormones, which they're amazing drugs, by the way, compared to the diabetes drugs of the past. But we know how to induce GLP-1 deficiency. Take your protein and fat, take your steak, put a potato next to it. Take your chicken, put the rice next to it. It literally depletes, right? It depletes it, and there's a lot of talk about seed oils. Guess what? The seed oils produce no GLP. The oils that are in all of the processed foods that we eat, all of the fast food we eat, release none or very minimal amount, about the same as water. So they've created a food environment that makes us GLP-1 deficient, and then what do? They give it to you in a 7-minute visit. I don't want you to be set up to fail. I want you to be empowered with information. These drugs are amazing drugs, by the way, full stop. They're really powerful, great drugs that can help people with diabetes, help people lose weight. But you need to know the whole story. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward because I could see them coming after me. Bottom line with the sleep here is the sleep. If you add 1.5 hours sleep, you eat 300 calories less per day. And your hormones like ghrelin get suppressed without you doing anything. Right? Without you doing, if you want to make somebody hungry, sleep deprive them, give them chronic pain. You will make them more hungry. If you want to lose weight, get more sleep, get pain-free. However way you can. Get more sleep, get pain-free. Get rid of the carbs, stabilize your blood sugar. Okay, let's talk about CGMs. I promise I'm going to be quick for this part. Okay, because you all wanted me to talk about tech. So let me do that part and I'll blast through it and then you won't get so mad at me. Okay, let's go to it. Sorry. This is a whole bunch of science. It'll all be there. I'm sure you guys will get the slides. Okay. So what is a CGM? Raise your hand if you use a CGM. Okay, if you're a dietitian or a doctor or a trainer in the crowd, you really need to get a CGM. And there's a bit of technology, okay? And this is what it quickly is. I'm going to blast through this. It's a little thing that goes on your arm and tells you your blood sugar. This is the doctor lie detector, okay? That told you oatmeal is healthy and whole grains are healthy and all this is healthy, right? This is your way to know, hey, is this healthy for me? Is this healthy for me? If your blood sugar goes to 300, is that healthy? No, right? If your blood sugar stays in the hundreds, 150, probably you're okay. So this is the lie detector, and this is a report, what it'll look like when you get the app from the Libre, okay? And it measures your blood glucose in real time. So the old way was you eat a food, and like 10 weeks later, you're like, why am I gaining weight, right? Why am I gaining weight? This is the old way. So it's a delayed feedback. And with the CGM, the feedback is instantaneous. Is this healthy for me in this way that I know induces hunger? And so it can help you make informed choices, right? You have this food item, a pizza, and you're like, wait a second. This whole grain pizza made my blood sugar go up. Should I be eating it? Maybe not, right? Well, then you look at steak, and you're like, wait a second, my blood sugar's pretty good. Maybe I should include that, right? Or maybe you're like, I'm going to have some sardines. Who likes sardines here besides my son? A couple of us, right? Well, sugar's stable, so maybe I have that. It helps you make personalized choices. This is Cheerios and what it may look like. Who's heard that heart-healthy Cheerios is a great way to have your breakfast? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not for you. Now, my son can eat Cheerios. His blood sugar doesn't go up so much, but I can't. They don't, by the way. They have eggs every day. But their blood sugar wouldn't respond the same way it would for me. I'm more metabolically compromised. So I need to be stricter than my kids need to be. And then maybe like something like grapes. You thought, hey, there's nothing wrong with grapes. It's a fruit. My dietitian said I should have more fruits. It's really healthy. I just want to let you know, a study that was just published from Harvard showed that including more fruits worsened insulin resistance. Including more fruits actually worsened fatty liver. In a study out of Iran, actually, that was done 2 years ago. So they've been telling us to do fruits, but not everybody can eat everything. And a CGM, a device, can help you make more informed choices and go back to your doctor and say, hey, wait a second, you told me to have the mango and banana and grape smoothie in the morning, but that sent my sugar to 300. Are you sure? Right? And 2 hours after that, I was starving because my blood sugar was 50. Right? It's a tool that you can use to get more empowerment, and it's over the counter. You don't even need a script. You can buy one and just get started on your journey getting more empowerment. And I'll stop here because they're going to boo me off the stage soon.